Happy holidays, everyone. We are going to be covering Magnus's Immortal game in this video. This was played in 2004 in Netherlands against Sipke Ernst. And Magnus actually plays a brilliant game. And I think there's like 2-3 brilliant moves in this game. So let's go over this. This game is happening in the Caro-Kann defense. So white is trying to get control of the center, black moves the pawn to d5. And in these kind of positions, we can move the knight to c3 to support this pawn. That is going to be the classical line, which is actually what Magnus went for. So after that capture, white captures back with the knight, and then black brings a bishop, putting pressure on this knight. Now our knight is under attack, so we don't want to just bring the knight back to its original square. We bring it to g3 to also attack the opponent's bishop. So in order to get out of this attack, Ernst moved the bishop to g6, and Magnus does a classic Caro-Kann idea. He moves the pawn to h4, trying to trap the bishop in this position. But of course, black can easily prevent this by moving the pawn to h6, which is what happened in the game. And after that, we can actually develop our knight like that. So Ernst is moving knight to d7. Again, simple development moves, and Magnus is making that bishop go away, also covering some area with that pawn, right, which can be useful towards the endgame. And you're actually going to be seeing how useful this pawn becomes soon. So after the bishop goes towards the corner, black actually moved with the bishop 1, 2, 3 times, and white wants to trade the bishops, which is a great idea because we are only spending one move with that bishop, and it's like an investment. If the opponent played 3 steps with that bishop and we only played once, we're going to be trading their bishop for our technically bad bishop. They capture this. Magnus captures back with the queen, and this is a normal position. In this situation, usually these days bishop goes to d2, but Magnus does bishop f4, improving the bishop on this diagonal, which is quite nice. Black moves the knight to gf6. White does a long castle. And now, white can try to attack both of the center files, which is a great idea. But first, Magnus tries to bring his knight, putting pressure on the opponent's knight. Again, this is also a very common idea in Caro-Kann for white to do. Black brings the queen to a5, putting pressure on the a2 pawn. And this is, again, a very popular move, king b1. Whenever we do a castle over the queen side, we can try to bring the king to b1, supporting all these pawns, and we also get out of that diagonal too. Regardless of white or black, this is a very common idea. Black actually did a regular castle, white does this trade, and now the knight goes towards the center. This is actually a very, very good idea. Black brings a rook to d8. Now the pawn is pinned. They're putting pressure on our pawn because of the queen, and black is getting ready to push the pawn to c5. So Magnus wants to get out of that pin, and he moves the queen to e2. Now the engine says this is actually going to be a little inaccuracy. Instead, the engine recommends queen g3. All right. Now after queen goes to e2, the opponent pushed the pawn to c5, attacking the white pawn. And now Magnus does the brilliant idea, which is knight g6. Just like I was saying, a lot of sacrifice ideas, brilliant moves, if it is a good idea. So this is one. Now, of course, the opponent can capture us right away. And after that, Magnus is going to bring the queen, attacking the king, which is going to be a very, very good move. So, actually, they do capture it. And since in this instance, black shouldn't be capturing this. Instead, black should be actually moving the rook to e8. But in the game, they do capture. Queen gets in, checking the king, and then they move the king to here. Instead of moving the king, if they block with the rook, you can actually win the rook by capturing that pawn. So we do capture that pawn, and our rook is super duper active on the h file, which is going to be an incredible plan if we can do some sacrifices to open this file up, and then we can try to ring the other rook too. Now, the opponent moves the knight to g8, which is actually a blunder because of Magnus's plan. Instead of moving this knight to here, black should be moving this d rook to e8. So after that, we are about to do some sacrifices. If you want, you can pause the video to think and come up with a plan right now. And now we will continue on how Magnus won this game. Alright, so if you thought about this move, good job. We are going to be opening this square with our bishop. After they capture, Magnus does another excellent move, which is rook h6. This is a brilliant idea because we are technically forcing them to capture us with the knight. Like if they go over here, there's this. You can win the game like that. So after they capture us with the knight, it looks like white is behind a lot of pieces, but this is all calculated. We're going to be capturing that bishop with the queen, and we are preparing again queen h7 checkmate. Now, of course, they will try to block it. Magnus captured it with the pawn, and now the king goes to g7, and they want to capture this pawn. So black is actually a rook ahead, but white does have some compensation with the pawns. But the king is super duper open. So our goal is to be able to win this game quickly. If we can't do a checkmate, black will most definitely win this. And you see, Magnus has a rook lift idea, trying to bring this rook over here, which is an excellent idea, a classic move. And our move should always include tempo from going on, because the opponent also is putting pressure on e1. So if we move the queen away from here and we don't do a check, they can actually do a backroom checkmate. So after that move, black actually is bringing the rook, so that after white does a check, they can block with the rook, which is what happened in the game. But now Magnus has queen e5. Check. This is an incredible idea. We are putting pressure over the king, and the king goes to f7, queen goes to f5, right? And now Ernst does a very, very bad idea. Rook f6. Now we can pause the video if you want, but there's actually an incredible move for white to do, and I'll show this in a second. Alright, if you figured this out, excellent. This is actually a very simple one-move checkmate. Queen goes to d7, and Magnus won this game in 29 moves. An incredible play from the current world champion, who actually forfeited his title, so next year he won't, well, from this point on, he's not the world champion anymore, and Ding Liren and Jan Wapniacki will be playing against the championship title next year. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye.